So hey all, I'm Devesh. Um, this is gonna be the first video of my YouTube channel named English Literature with Devesh. I will be sharing my thoughts and will be explaining about English literature to you, the works, etc., etc. So my first work is gonna be about the fictional novel The Financial Expert, written by R.K.Narayan. So let's get started. Um, this presentation is made by me. I'll explain alongside with the presentation. First, we are going to see about the author. R.K.Narayan wrote the fictional novel The Financial Expert in 1952. R.K.Narayan's original birth name is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Ayya Narayanaswamy, but the name R.K.Narayan stuck with him till the end of his life. He was born in Madras and raised in Mysore. Even he studied in Mysore. Then R.K.Narayan is particularly known for his fictional South Indian town named Malgudi. He also had a young brother, the youngest one in his family, R.K. Laxman, who was also a famous cartoonist. So these two contributed a lot to English literature. Not English literature, particularly in literature. Narayan is also known as the key proponent for Indian literature in English. He also received some notable awards such as Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, Sahitya Akademi Award, etc. Yes. Then some of his notable works include Swami and His Friends, written in 1935, which was his debut work. Also, in one of his interviews, he even told that this work particularly got rejected many a times, but his persistence gave him the success. It was such a huge hit. Then The English Teacher, written in 1945, talks about his experiences as an English teacher. Then Malgudi Days, 1982, which was a series which was even adapted for television program. Then I'm sorry, I'm gonna be short. Then moving on to the novel, the characters in the novel. The central character is Margayya, around which the entire story revolves around. He's not portrayed as a hero, but rather an anti-hero, which means his character is not an example for anything, but a warning. Then Balu, the only spoiled son of Margayya. Meenakshi, wife of Margayya. Meenakshi, the name is only mentioned once in the novel. Then Dr. Paul, journalist, sociologist, author of The Manners of the Bed Life. And towards the end of the novel, he becomes a business friend of Margayya. Madan Lal, a publisher who helps Margayya to publish his book Domestic Harmony. Then the printer, I mentioned as printer, in the sense is the publisher as well as the printer. Okay. Then Sastri, whom Margayya later hires as an accountant for his private bank. Then Arul Das and secretary are the two who insulted Margayya, which led him for the quest of money. Then Arul Das is the peon of the cooperative bank. Then secretary of the cooperative bank is another character. Then moving on towards the theme and plot of the novel. The central theme around which the story revolves is lust for money, or the greed for immoral financial gains, not through any hard work or even, yes, maybe smart work, but not through good means. Then the theme is also covers the consequences one faces due to this incessant greed for from bogus, which means from mere falsity or fraud. Then describing the plot shortly, the novel talks about the rise and fall of the central character Margayya from Malgudi. This is the one-line story which we can give to the financial expert. The novel starts with Margayya being a mediator under a banyan tree opposite to the cooperative bank, helping people by withdrawing loans from the bank. Then he becomes uh, the author of the domestic company, which actually is a lie, but he gains a lot of profit from it. Then he starts his own money lending business, from which he gains many assets. Then he starts a private bank, gains hordes of money. Then all of a sudden, all of his money goes out. Then again, he comes back to his own place under the banyan tree and starts working as a mediator. The novel ends poignantly. So let's get into it, get into this novel in a detailed manner. So I have composed the summary into 5 sections. Okay, for easy understanding. Please note that this is not in a linear fashion, because I want this novel to be understood easily. For starting, the first topic is Margayya as a mediator. So Margayya is working as a mediator from the start of the novel. He's a mediator between the townspeople, illiterate farmers, and the bank, land mortgage bank, located in a village. Opposite to the bank, he works under a banyan tree with a small tin box containing red ink, pen, and a bunch of bank application forms. Then an accounts book in which he registers all his transactions. So Margayya gets all these forms from the shareholders of the bank. He has some dealing with them. Then he charges a small fee from the poor townspeople for giving them the forms, because it was impossible for them to get the forms from the bank workers. Then he also charges a fee for filling them out, because those people are illiterate. Then Margayya's son Balu was a very mischievous and a notorious boy. He keeps on asking for an elephant toy. He was fond of toys. So one day when he saw Margayya's accounts notebook, he throws it into the gutter, running close to Margayya's house, thus ending this business. Margayya was not able to cope up with this business, because without his accounts book, Margayya could not rely on his memory. Margayya is also a 42-year-old guy. He got Balu out of some prayer. Then let's move on to the next topic. Then we are seeing the quest of Margayya for getting rich. Because of his downfall of the mediator business, Margayya meets a temple priest who advises Margayya to do a puja for the goddess. Because Margayya also gets insulted by Aruldas and secretary for his job, because secretary was a man earning 500 rupees a month, and he comes in a luxurious car, wears a luxurious suit, and he even chases away Margayya from doing this mediator business, which they were very much infuriated of. Then Margayya does a puja for goddess Lakshmi for getting rich in no time, for which the temple priest orders Margayya with rare items such as red lotus, which Margayya finds in a lonely pond through hard work, where he gets acquainted with the sociologist come journalist Dr. Paul, who sells the manuscript Wed Life for 25 rupees to Margayya, which is the turning point in Margayya's life. Margayya finds a publisher named Madan Lal, and he agrees to share the profits on a 1:1 ratio, 50-50%. Then, even to avoid censorship or arrest, they alter the title from the advice of lawyers. The altered title is Domestic Harmony, and this book is a huge hit and brings much profits for them. Then Moving on to the next part. Yes, rise of Margayya. So Margayya earns a huge amount of money from this book publishing business. Then he engages in money lending business, through which he gains many assets, immovable assets in the sense land, property, etc. Because people were not able to pay high interest to the loans which they drew from Margayya. And so with this money, Margayya starts a private bank uh, with a sugarcoating statement, which he did for some time actually. So the amount of interest was 20% to the principal amount per month. So people were very much attracted to this business. And so then, since Magia was not able to manage all these people, he hires an accountant named Sastri to take care of the business along with him. Then he also hires Dr. Paul to get more clients, in the sense more depositors. Then he fully piles more and more of money in his house, that even there was not place to wander in his house. He was not even able to walk properly in his house. Full of money. It was full much money. People started to began to respect Margayya like a god, and they considered him a wizard because of his mastery in financial matters. Then uh, Margayya's health got deteriorated, though he was financially successful because he worked most of the hours, maybe not 24 into 7, maybe he got some 3 4 hours of rest. Then, moving on to the next part. Yes, this is an important part. Deteriorating personal life of Margayya. So, though Margayya was professionally successful, he was personally very much troubled with his family tensions. Margayya's son Balu didn't do very much in school. He was just getting single digits before his SSLC examinations. Maybe, yeah, no. Even in SSLC examinations, yes. He wrote many times, but he fails pathetically. Margayya hires private tutors for him, but though he fails, those tutors were Balu's own school teachers. Balu even gets into the bad habit of smoking and drinking. So Balu's was a much deviated boy. Uh, he was only attracted towards leisure and not towards productivity. So he even runs due to incessant pressure from his father. Runs to Madras, works as a peon to a theatre, then comes back again. As Margayya pleaded with him, he pleaded him only for the sake of his wife. Then he brings him back, promising him that with the condition that Balu can be in a leisurely state. Then, since this didn't make Balu a disciplined boy, he decides to get him married to a very well settled man's daughter who owns a tea estate in Mempi Hills named Brinda. So Margayya even gives him a property in Lolly Extension with a financial aid of 300 rupees. This Lolly Extension, this property, Margayya acquired through money lending business only. So then he receives 300 rupees for his monthly expenditure. Then suddenly one day Balu came towards Margayya and asked for his property share. Margayya was very much surprised and he decides to give Balu a visit. He was only uh, free during the night time, which was around 1 a.m., midnight. So he finds out that Brinda was alone and Balu roams around with Dr. Paul and many girls late at night, and he comes as and when he wishes to his house. Moving on. Yes, the denouement. Fall of Margayya. So when Margayya learnt about Balu's companionship with Dr. Paul. He chases and thrashes Dr. Paul in front of the women. So, in front of women. So, Dr. Paul uh, mainly spreads rumor and files a police complaint against Margayya. Mainly, this rumor causes Margayya's defamation. So, because of this rumor, all Margayya's all of Margayya's clients come come to withdraw their money, and within one day, Margayya gets bankrupt. Though he had some creditors at the end after bankruptcy too. Margayya files for insolvency, all his assets, all his money are gone. It's seized. Then, after all these financial failures, even Balu, his wife, his child also get thrown out of their house at Lolly Extension because it was also Magya's assets, one of his assets. Then Balu comes back home again to Magya's ancestral property. It could not be seized because it was shared by his brother partly. Then Balu was asked by Margayya to carry forward his mediator business because of his weakness. Though Margayya was professionally successful, he did not have proper diet. He ate like a 10-year-old kid. It is mentioned in the novel. Then, as Balu refuses because he thought that it would be, uh, it is not a prestigious job. So Margayya once again carries his tin box and goes back to work under the same banyan tree opposite to the cooperative bank. So the novel ends very poignantly in a full circle. So once again, Margayya comes back to his own old place, but you see here a weakened Margayya and much aged man. Next. So let's see about the concise analysis of the novel, which means the main uh, purpose of the novel. Yes, let's begin with yes. Margayya is a flawed person. I already told you that Margayya is not a hero in this novel. So through Margayya, we are being taught a lesson, not to be obsessed with illegal money. So Margayya was very much obsessed with money that he literally targeted poor people to gain immense wealth. So then, yes, this is what Margayya gets back. For his immoral accumulation of wealth, he gets a lazy and irresponsible son to Balu. Then the title, the financial expert itself, is very much intriguing. It surprises us. How come this illegal guy gets the title the financial expert? That's what R.K.Narayan also humanizes with him. Though people are talented, they direct their powers and talents in a wrong way. That's what the novel comes to say in this part. Then, mainly, yes, the second part of the analysis is very much important. The novel exposes the corruption prevailing in the then society, which means the contemporary society of R.K. Narayan, which was early 20th century. It also captures the loopholes in the capitalist system and banking system because people must be served by the bank and the government, not by Margayya. That mediator is not at all necessary. So even in the society we are finding faults because Margayya is being respected for his illegal businesses only because of his immense wealth. People did not see through what means he had earned so much of money. Mhm. The novel also teaches us that the losses one incur when money earned through falsity or bogus. And the final important point is the main characteristic of human being gets lost due to this excessive greed or thirst, not thirst, maybe illegal money. The characteristic is humanity, or human characteristic itself gets lost out of this search. Then we are going to see the key takeaways from the novel. Yes. Money should be earned through moral means and hard work. This quality does not exist in Margayya, as Margayya doesn't want all these things. He just wants to get rich in a night or something like that. That's how he prays. And money should not control us, rather it should we should control money. Here in the novel we see that money controls Margayya. It does not let him sleep, it does not let him eat, it does not let him be concerned about his family, it does not let him live peacefully. Money is a factor of living and not the only factor for living. In the novel, Margayya's only aim is to earn money and not to have a meaningful life or a compassionate or to live like or live a compassionate living being. Then one must not have one must have adequate amount of rest with hard work. Yes, here Margayya does not have any kind of rest. Without rest, we can't function properly. We won't live a long life. That's what the novel tries to say. You must choose our friends wisely. Yeah, it is very true in the case of Balu, who, because of his companionship with Dr. Paul, gets into bad addiction, drugs in the sense drinking, smoking, and hanging out with girls, leading an immoral life, etc. Then kids needs to be raised with basic manners, discipline, and obedience. Yes, again the same thing. As Margayya did not concentrate on Balu, Balu became a leisure-loving man. Margayya maybe had some concern in his mind, but he did not take any effort. It doesn't take any effort to make Balu a considerate human being. Necessary concern should be shown towards the family members. Here, Margayya does not have any concern. He does not come to home on time. He does not interact with his family. He just comes home for the sake of being a family member. He even does not buy a sari for his wife. Though he asks his wife to buy a sari, but he's such a stingy guy that he doesn't buy anything for his house. Even we find at the beginning that Margayya doesn't even buy any toys. But yes, maybe after incessant requests he might. We must be cordial with our relations. Yes, very true. Margayya doesn't like his brother and they both quarrel much more often. They don't even talk with themselves. Margayya and his wife often suspect them for eavesdropping or overhearing. Then we must realize that all are human beings and we share similar emotions and feelings. Margayya doesn't realize this. Even in one statement, Margayya says that you have to pay the loan amount even if you have to mortgage your wife and child, which shows this is not a human by this characteristic. Uh, yes. We must not treat others the way which we do not want to be treated. So, yes, Margayya fools everyone, but Margayya can't accept being fooled by anyone. That's what he feels when he got cheated by Dr. Paul, because Margayya only used him as a business partner, only for earning money. So, this use and throw attitude has its own consequence, which spoiled his only son Balu. So, these are the key takeaways from the novel. So this is my first video. I'm sorry if I I am not that fluent in English. So kindly like, comment if you have any doubts, even if you have any appreciation. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel. So thank you. Have a nice day.